All right, everybody. My name is Liz Garcia. I am founder of the Mind, Body, Spirit Network, and today we're talking about the importance of understanding archetypes when it comes to creating a personal brand or a brand in general for your business, and how important it is to create a brand for your business, because otherwise you're kind of floundering with mixed messages and people not understanding who you are, what you do, what you stand for, or anything like that. So I have a presentation here. I am going to better share my screen first. You know, technical difficulties here. Whoops, hold on. I had fun doing this. I got Carol and Mrs. Mace's book from the library yesterday. I was reading it last night. I'm like, oh, this is so interesting to me. I find it really interesting. All right. So when you understand, especially in personal branding, your own archetypes, you really can then start to magnify your ideal clients and illuminate the pathway for them. If you're not clear on your own archetype and your own personal brand, that pathway is going to look like forks in the road everywhere you turn. And I see that a lot with a lot of you mind, body, spirit types. Not to generalize, but you guys aren't marketers necessarily, but some of you are. Some of you have some wherewithal in that. But if you're serious about growing a business, you got to think about a brand for yourself. And when you're doing that, you got to look at your own archetypes, because that's where your strengths are. So I'm just going to do a little quick review about brands, because not everyone understands what brands are. And brands are promises. That's it. Brands are promises. So you're going to promise something. You're going to promise to be who you are, and you're going to tell people who you are. You're not going to hide it, right? You're going to get clear on who you are. You're going to hold the promise that you're going to stay true to who you are. You're going to hold the promises you're going to stay true to what you stand for. You're not going to flounder in who you are and what you stand for. This is a promise. And then you're going to promise an experience for your clients. What do you promise the experience will be? And what is the outcome, more importantly? And if for some reason that outcome doesn't work out, how are you going to fix it? How are you going to turn it around so you don't lose that client? And go back to remembering who you are, what you stand for, what your promises are. You've got to stay true to this every step of the way involved in your business. So with those three words in mind, that's all you need to remember. What were those words again? Branding is an experience of a promise. Is that what it is? No, shoot. I can't remember three words this morning. What a dope, sorry. Oh, brands are promises. There you go. Remember those, write them down for me, please. Brands are promises. So when you keep those three words in mind, you got to keep these three truths in mind. Branding builds trust, okay? So when you go through this process of understanding who you are and what you stand for, and you get clear on it, and you consistently are that way, being that way, you're starting to build trust, and you're establishing your brand, even if it's a personal brand, by building trust in a one-of-a-kind promise. And this is where, you know, health coaches, life coaches, transformation coaches, this is where your one-of-a-kind promise needs to shine through. And it's going to come from your heart and who you truly are. And so this promise conveys who you are, what you stand for, and what unique and meaningful benefits or results you deliver. That's how you build trust. You got to live up to that promise. Every time you come into contact with someone, whether it's on a website, in a presentation, in a webinar, at networking events, you want to show up consistently as being who you are and what you do and what you stand for, and the results you deliver. It doesn't matter where this happens. You know, if you're getting found on a Google search, and it's a good idea to search yourself, and something comes up about you that's not in alignment with that promise, you might want to do something about it. Because the first place people go when they want to get to know you is going to be online. And Does anyone doubt that? Is there anyone here who does not do that? Who does not go online the minute they meet someone to check them out? I think most people. What's that, Marie?
I just don't know how to change things though. Once it's online, isn't it hard to get rid of?
Not necessarily. If you know where the source is, go to the source.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could be a directory. A lot of directories, Marie, will pick up your information,
mm-hmm.
for example, and you'll find it come up in a search. You can go to that directory and the directory will say, claim your, if this is your business, you can claim it. So that's how you take charge of that.
Okay.
If you have other things like, I don't know what else would come up with for you, but you'd have to find out, and you'd go to the link, figure out where it's coming from, and then connect with that link somehow. Usually if it's a website, it would be an email address, and say, hey, take that down, or whatever you want to do. So what is huge about branding, once you develop your own brand and you understand what it's going to do for you and how it's going to help, you've got to be that consistently. And your brand can certainly evolve, and your products and services can certainly evolve, but that underlying core of who you are and what you stand for, and your promise that you're going to deliver results regardless. You're always going to stick to whatever those results are, you're going to deliver them. And if you don't, you got to have a plan for how you're going to make up for it. Give them the money back, provide services that get them the results that they need, whatever. You got to decide, how are you going to deal with that so that you don't tarnish your good name, right? So when you kind of step into this is stepping into serious power and alignment with who you are, what you do, and who you want to be. Consistency is huge. And that's where making sure your marketing materials are all in alignment. You don't want to be willy-nilly throwing things on Instagram, Facebook without some branding awareness. Like if I put anything on Instagram, I make sure it's beautiful, because I am an artist archetype. I'm all about the beauty. It's all I really care about. Not true, but we'll get to that. Artist and creative is my predominant brand, predominant archetype. And I'm so thankful, because I love that, you know. And it's all about, when I create the one-page websites for you members, it's all about the beauty and bringing out the beauty in you. That's another one of my gifts, is I see the beauty in you. I'm kind of the curator of beauty. This is what I've come to realize. I'm the curator of beauty, and each one of you has a beautiful gift that I kind of curate. And that's what I'm doing in that one-page website for you guys. Okay. So building profitable brands takes focus, passion, persistence, diligence, effort, and commitment. Is anyone here who's not up for that? That requires a lot of integrity to turn on yourself, and commitment to turn on yourself, and willingness to be that powerful being you came here to be, and stop wallowing in not good enough, whatever, okay? It takes courage to step into this and be it, and willingness to let go of all the negative thoughts and beliefs you have about yourself, because none of them are true. It's this old crap. Right, Marie? Tap, tap, tap. All right. If anyone has questions, feel free to just kind of, you know, stop me, because we have a small group. You can stop. Okay, so the big payoff when you go through the exercise of personal branding is huge. Strong brands power personal and business success, and it can turn around many floundering businesses. And there's a lot of floundering businesses out there because of this. Not understanding the importance of branding, not understanding the importance of getting clear. And all of us are aware of law of attraction and vibration and levels of consciousness now. I've introduced that. We all know law of attraction. When you focus on the core of your being and don't go away from it, it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. You know at the core of your being, this is who you are and who you want to be. You can certainly aspire to someone else who's successful and look at them as an example, but you still got to turn back to yourself. You know, is that who I really am? Is this who I want to be? This is who I want to be. When you focus on you, it's even more power. I mean, power of spirit is huge. I can attest to it. Power of spirit is quantum. You have no idea until you've experienced the power of higher levels of consciousness like I've had. It's stunning and indescribable, but huge. Deborah, do you recognize this? She should. It's in her website. What do brands do? I mean, there's a statement for you right there, right? That image is a statement. And when you start to kind of curate your own brand, you're going to have images that speak thousands of words, millions of words in one. Like, that is huge, that image right there. So brands make selling easier, okay? When you brand yourself and you get clear on who you are and what you do, you don't have to sell too hard anymore, because people are going to be attracted to you because you're clear and concise. And people prefer to buy from companies they feel they know and can trust. So it provides assurance. Like, okay, this person is clear. I feel assured. I feel confident that he or she knows how they're going to help me. And you just got to look at, what brands you always turn to. Big brands, Coke, Pepsi, Starbucks, right? You go to them for a reason. Brands prevail over no-name offerings. You don't want to be a no-name, right? No, unless you do. It's okay if you do. If you want to hide and just kind of exist the way you are, it's totally fine, no judgment whatsoever. But if you really want to succeed and be visible and have a thriving business and have the ability to charge way more for your time because you're clear on your value. And I got clear on my value this weekend. I have to tell you, my rate went way up when I got clear on my value, which is kind of interesting. And I didn't even question it. And I think if you all go through this process, you're going to feel your value go way up, because you've experienced a lot of it in life. All of us have. We're not kids. We're not 20-year-olds. We have a lot of experience and value to add to the world. So brands prevail over no-name offerings because they're defined by and chosen for their unique distinguishing attributes and promises. This is part of branding. You gotta define what those unique distinguishing attributes and promises are. Sometimes other clients, good clients of yours, can tell you what they are too. You can, you probably know what they are, but it's kind of good for someone else to identify it for you as well. Ask your friends, what stands out about me? Because you are a living archetype. I hear it all the time from my friends. Liz, you're so creative. I'm like, well, okay, yes. And then I read the artist archetype. I'm like, no wonder. Everyone keeps telling me that. I like vibe it. It's my vibe. And what is true is consumers are willing to pay more and expend more efforts to have the brands they believe in. I look at real estate in Aspen a lot because they're magnificent homes. Billionaires own them, but I love the architecture and the style and everything. And I always see all the realtors that are represented there. And the ones that are at the top of their game are the ones I would turn to. I wouldn't even go to someone less. I'm like, why bother? Why not just go to the top? So you have to distinguish yourself in one way or another. And you don't have to be the top of the United States. You can be the top in your own community. Totally. You can stand out in your community as a leader in what you do. But you got to get clear on that so people can feel drawn to you for that reason. Commodities are products or services that are easy to substitute and hard to differentiate. And that's what I'm seeing in the mind, body, spirit realm. A lot of people want to be health coaches, life coaches, yoga teachers, whatever, but it's a commodity until you find one you really love and you just start going to them or whatever. But if you can differentiate yourself and be clear about your distinguishing factors, then it's a whole new ballgame. And you're not charging by the hour necessarily anymore, right? You have a different mindset. and you're creating different offerings that leverage your expertise so you can reach more people for more exposure and impact. And then by virtue of that, your rate's going to go up and your value. People were willing, they want to spend more because you are going to promise transformation. That's what people want. I learned this. I came to this realization. People are sick of information. They want transformation. It's like, just let's get to the point. Help me out here. Don't give me any more information. Let's just do something. Brands build equity. This is huge. Equity, that's where you can charge more for your services because you have equity. And Deepak Chopra, he's got a huge equity, right? He's got a huge following. He commands audiences all over the world. He's kind of an example of a personal brand. And you know how he presents himself, you know his voice, you know his message. Oprah is a brand as well. Martha Stewart is a brand. Even though they're individuals, they stand for something very clear. And they're typically preferred and valued by consumers because they deliver a long list of business benefits that translate to higher. When you get clear, I'm telling you, if you go through this process, I assure you, sales are going to grow, profit margins for sure. No more of this hourly rate stuff. I mean, you'll still do, some of you will still have hourly rate stuff, but you'll deliver programs with impact that you'll serve to a bigger audience is how you would improve your profit margins. Or you start presenting in front of groups that pay you, whatever, your value changes and you change. Your confidence shoots up like a rocket, big time. And you're loving what you're doing. And you're inspired to create more and think differently. Okay. So why are brands such a big deal? They unlock profitability. That's huge. That's the issue going on with solopreneurs and healer types. They're not unlocking profitability, and they're not generating leads because they're not clear. There's not a clear, illuminated path to you for your ideal clients, and that's what branding will help do. It helps people to prompt consumer selection. So if you can distinguish yourself as a person who helps irritable bowel syndrome, which is a gigantic problem, right, Lynn?
That's right.
Huge, but make it pretty. It's kind of an ugly thing. Irritable bowel, yeah, well, that's not pretty. How do you make that pretty? You make it pretty through branding and delivering killer results. That's how you make it pretty. There's so many people suffering from that type of thing, or migraine headaches, depression, any of these conditions. If you can provide results and relief from all of that and make it pretty or whatever, it depends on your archetype. You know, people will be drawn to you for your archetype first. So, and then brands build name awareness. So, you might want to think about what you name your business matters. And they increase odds of survival. Businesses without brands and without clarity, without focus, they're not going to last. Because clients, potential customers don't know what you're doing. Who are you? What are you doing? That's the problem when they don't get it. All right. I love this dog. This dog is an archetype. What do you think this dog is the archetype of? Unless you don't know archetypes. So here's where archetypes come in. This dog I would call an explorer or a traveler. He could also be an outlaw though too. What a cutie. I'm dog sick. What can I tell you? I love all my dogs. All right. So Carolyn Mace, according to her, she's expert in archetypes. She's been studying this stuff for 25 years, according to her book. It is impossible for us to know who we truly are unless we understand archetypes. And more specifically, our own personal archetypes. Because archetypes are the psychic lenses through which we view ourselves and the world around us. Kind of interesting. As a society, we have been on a quest to understand how we function psychologically, what makes us the way we are and what makes us heal. These questions have awakened a need in us to not only be aware that archetypes influence us, but how they express themselves in our individual lives. They are the new language of power. And when you pair this with the understanding of consciousness and the power in where power in consciousness exists, and you put the two together, hello, it's like a beautiful chemistry experiment just gone, woo, working out. It's like Einstein in the lab saying, woohoo, we struck gold, right? Einstein. So what is an archetype? They're universal patterns of behavior that once discovered help you better understand yourself and your place in the world. In short, knowing your archetype can transform your life. So when I look at my archetype, and I read it again last night because the artist creative is like really strong in my being. That's just who I am. And I want to stay true to that. And I'm thinking, how can I stay true to that? Because some of the stuff I'm doing, like marketing, is not, well, it is artistic though, it is creative. But anyway, I'm thinking to myself, I've got to stay with my artist. I love my artist. And how can I do that? And I can do that in my everyday life, and I do that. So anyway. So learning which archetypes best describe you is just the beginning. And I'm going to give you guys later in the show. That sounded funny, didn't it? Later in the show, later in our program, I'm going to give you links to 2 different archetype tests. One is for the personal branding archetype, because we're going to talk about 12 master archetypes in branding today, because they already exist. So one has to do with personal branding, and the other one has to do with you as an individual. And they'll probably be close. But when I took the personal branding one, I took it from the perspective of me being, I took it from the perspective of the Mind, Body, Spirit Network. So when I answered the questions, I was doing it in context with that, in relationship to that. So I got a different result, but it's similar to my own personal brand. All right, so you guys are going to find out what your archetypes are, so that you can start focusing on them, especially when it comes to your business. Because you don't want to be who you're not. You don't need to be. Being who you are is way more powerful. And then you can use this knowledge to make conscious decisions about everything from your career to relationships, the companies you want to do business with, brands you embrace and connect with, and the personal brand that is you. Whether you go through a personal branding thing, at the very least, connect with your archetype and make sure you communicate as such. And people are going to be drawn to you for that reason. Because these archetypes in consciousness, we all recognize them. And some of us will be more drawn to you than others, which is a good thing. You want that. You want people to be drawn to you because of that. So shine in that and light the pathway of that. So when you understand this, the role is a happier, more authentic you, okay? And it's never too late to change life by embracing your archetypes to the fullest. And you're gonna find, I've done a bunch of tests now because I wanna do a bunch of tests for you, the purpose of sharing these with you. And I come up with the same archetypes in every test. So if you're questioning the test, I think it's safe to say that you can kind of do them all. And if you keep coming up with the same results, I think you can go with that. Or you can just trust your gut too, because we're going to go through each one, and I'm going to have you do a little exercise while we're doing it. So there are 12 primary archetypes in branding, okay? Let me see. The creative artist, that's my number 1. The magician alchemist happens to be my number 2. Hero, lover, outlaw, everyman, explorer, ruler, jester, innocent, caregiver, and nurturer. So there's 12 of them, and I'm going to go quickly over each one. So I want you guys to listen, and if you find one that sticks out for you, write it down. You can say, and then you can rearrange it once we go through all of them, because you may say, all of them kind of relate to us, but really feel deeply into it. Is this really me or not? Like there's one called The Advocate, which I read, and it's definitely not me at all. I can pass it on and I don't have to feel bad about it. You know, because an advocate is someone who advocates for causes, whatever it may be, the environment, women's rights, civil rights, whatever your cause is. And sometimes I feel bad that I don't advocate really. I don't feel that. And Carolyn Mace is like, you don't need to apologize. Forgive yourself. It's not in you to be that. So let those that have it be it, right? All right. So who's got time? I don't have a watch. What's the time?
11:38.
Okay, we're good. We're good. All right. So I want you to, I'm going to just show you these archetypes, and I want you to guess which one you think is you. Okay. So the first one is the magician alchemist. And this archetype wants to make dreams come true through knowledge of the fundamental laws of how the world works. In addition to a white rabbit, from his hat, the magician pulls brands that are transformative, have a spiritual or psychological component, or help to expand consciousness. It's no wonder I studied consciousness. This is one of my this is my second archetype. And when I did the personal branding archetypes, this was number one in the Mind, Body, Spirit Network. This is what I intend, is to help people transform and expand their awareness and consciousness and step into courage and all the higher levels. I'm like, oh, I'm dead on without even trying because it's in my archetype. The everyman. He wants only to belong and fit in and desires to connect with others. The mark of the everyman is prominent on brands with a down-home culture that create things used in everyday life and that help people feel that they too belong. So I wanted to do a quick little fun test. What car would the everyman drive? Anyone want to venture a guess? Or just shout it out. What car would the everyman drive? Anyone?
Ford? I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say a Ford.
Ford or
That's what I was going to say too.
Yeah, like a Ford pickup.
Yeah.
or what about a VW Bug?
I think a VW Bug is more of the artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every man is very simple, like a 4-door Honda, right? A practical van or something, right? Super simple, down home, not pretentious whatsoever. The Bug makes a statement, the VW Bug. That's the artist. The Mini Cooper is the artist. These are the ones I love, you know, super creative and expressive. The innocent. Don't worry, be happy is the motto of the innocent archetype. It wants to find and experience paradise. Brands that are associated with goodness, morality, simplicity, nostalgia, or childhood are identified as innocent archetypes. Who can name a television channel that would represent the innocent? In my feeling, they'd represent
The Hallmark.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Bingo. Thank you, Marie. Good job. Well, what car would represent the innocent?
Minivan.
A minivan. Yeah.
Or a Prius.
Yeah, maybe a Prius. I think a mini brand is closer because it's kind of wholesome goodness getting the kids around. It's a family car. Now, just so you know, each one of these major archetypes have families. So there's different names for some of these, like in the creative archetype or the artist archetype, families include chefs, actors, dancers. So there's a lot of different words that are similar to this that you think, I've heard of that before, but not in that word. It's because it's in the same family. So there are a family of archetypes that you could dive deeper to find yours. And I'm definitely a chef in the creative realm. I had a restaurant. I love cooking. I love creating beautiful. I wish I could have all of you over for dinner. That would be so fun. And I would cook for you. We'd have a freaking ball. Anyway. All right. So The caregiver nurturer. The caregivers, everyone knows one of these. Their aim is to protect people from harm and help others. Brands that serve families and place a high value on customer service, especially those in the healthcare, education, or nonprofit charitable space, are labeled as caregiver archetypes. What would be a nonprofit that's a caregiver nurturer? Anyone want to guess one? Throw one out there?
Oh, Susan G. Komen.
Yep. How about St. Jude's Hospital?
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah. Kids. Anyone that cares, that's like serious caring, you know, or how about those total heart grabber nonprofits for pets? Look at the, you know, they show every pet that's ever been abused all over the world. And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Stop it. I can't watch that anymore. But they're good. They're effective. They're a nurturing archetype. And they pull on our heartstrings. And we want to support them. So here's the creative. The creator's core desire is to create something of enduring value and give form to a vision. Brands that encourage self-expression provide choices and options. They help foster innovation or are artistic or creative in design, embody the creator archetype. So we already know what a creative would drive. What would be, who's a big brand that's a creative artist? She's big. Makes things beautiful. Everything she touches.
Martha Stewart.
There you go. That's her. The jester. I couldn't find a clown, but she looked happy enough. Just like the class clown from high school, the jester wants to live in the moment with full enjoyment. She's doing that. He only wants to have a great time and lighten up the world. Look past laughter and that silly hat and you'll see brands that help people have a good time and embrace a fun, loving, freewheeling culture. Who represents that brand clearly? Big name.
Robin Williams.
Yes. How about a female?
Carol Burnett.
Yes.
Lucille Ball.
Yes. How about Ellen?
Ellen.
She's got a mixed archetype going on there, but for sure she's a jester, I would say. What would the jester drive?
The VW bug.
That's what I was going to say.
I was going to say a VW bus painted like the Partridge Family.
Right, you're right.
Right? Okay. They would also drive the Toyota Land Cruiser, that colorful, you know, someone called the Toyota Land Cruiser, the current one, which is kind of a sporty, kind of Jeepy thing. Someone else called that a clown show to me once. They can imagine all the clowns just coming out of that car because it's kind of fanciful like a circus. The outlaw. It's all about revolution and seeks to destroy what is not working. Brands that identify with values at odds with those of society at large, that pioneer new and revolutionary attitudes, or whose products literally destroy something, fall into this category. All right, who do you think's an outlaw out there in the world? Big outlaws.
The tobacco company, I don't know. They're destroying people's lives.
Well, that's probably wasn't their intent though, Marie. Their archetype is probably like fashionista, which is like they want it to be fashionable to be a smoker. They want to, you know, that's what their original brand was, to be cool, not to destroy lives. I'm talking about a positive oriented person as an outlaw would be.
Michael Pollan.
Oprah.
Yeah, like Oprah or U2 or, you know, Sean Penn, people who are human rights activists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wendell Berry.
Who's that?
Well, you'd have to be in the organic world to know who he is, but he's a poet, a farmer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone who is big into permaculture, right? Would be kind of an outlaw. Zuckerman, Facebook. He's an
Mhm.
outlaw. He's going to reinvent how things are done, how people come. He opened up the entire world through Facebook. Not pay. He didn't. He's going to do what he wanted to do. You know, if you've ever seen his movie, he's like, you got himself into deep trouble, but guess what? He prevailed.
Mm-hmm.
Steve
What's
Jobs is kind of an outlaw.
What's the guy from Virgin?
Yes.
Richard
What's
Branson.
his name?
Richard Branson.
Yeah.
I don't know him that well, but he does kind of reinvent things, doesn't he? He's kind of an explorer too, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, we had to make, yeah.
But we all have a mix, you know. He could have outlaw in him for sure because he's, you know, a pioneer. A lover. More than anything in the world, a lover wants to attain intimacy and or experience sensual pleasure. The goal is to be in relationships with the people, work, experiences, and surroundings it loves. Examples of the lover archetype are brands that help people find love and friendship or that foster beauty, communication, or closeness between people. That's an easy one. What's a lover brand?
Dove soap
Oh,
products.
it could be, yeah. They help foster beauty. They're trying to foster beauty with,
Victoria's Secret.
what's that, Cheryl?
Victoria's Secret?
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Foster closeness between people. That'll do it. Victoria's Secret. Yeah.
Oh, come on. Yeah. Foster sex. It's right there. Come on.
Yeah.
Name it.
How about dating services like Match.com?
Totally. eHarmony, even more so.
Company. Yeah.
eHarmony's a lover. eHarmony has more the feeling of a lover than Match.com. It's just kind of, you know, the word is more lovery. Okay. The hero and visionary. They strive to prove worth through courageous and difficult action and to exert mastery in a way that improves the world. Look behind that flowing cape to find brands that help people perform at their best, address a major social problem, and incite people to take action. All right, who's screaming this?
Me.
Lynn, you are?
Totally.
Cool. Does that resonate strongly with you, this one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. Who in our world is a hero visionary?
How about Deepak? Would Deepak be one?
Mhm. Yes.
There's
He's got a
someone
lot of
even more
process.
prevalent.
Elon Musk.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know who he is. I've seen it.
He's SpaceX and the Tesla,
Oh, okay.
and he invented PayPal. Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking of Tony Robbins.
Oh yeah, Tony Robbins. Yeah.
He's big. He is forcing you to perform at your best and take action. He incites people to take action. He kind of screams that hero visionary.
And we have some politicians too that are in that category, you know, like,
I hope so.
well, unfortunately not as many as we should have.
All right. That's
But I
okay.
forget his name, the man who's trying to get single payer there, the older guy that ran for president.
Rand.
Who's
Bernie Sanders, right? Bernie?
that? Oh, Bernie Sanders. Yes, Bernie. He's also a lover.
Mhm.
Don't you think? He's kind of a
Yeah.
lover. I think he's got some lover in him because he wants to bring people together.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but you want to stick to your primary one when we're thinking of you. Don't try, you know, you can put in others, but you got to stick to who you are. All right.
So I have a question.
Yep.
What's the difference between an alchemist and a hero visionary?
The hero is, so the alchemist is about transformation and helping you to reimagine the possibilities for transformation. And the hero is inciting it. It's an action-oriented thing.
Like just do it.
Just do it. It's
Nike, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a different approach.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give you a website. You can go look more closely at both of those, Lynn. 'Cause you may have a little of both in you.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of both. Yeah.
Okay. You want to go with your strong suit though, remember. You got to narrow it down.
Right. Right.
Okay. Because everyone wants to be everything to all people. And I want you to stop doing that.
Right. That's got to be an archetype, right?
Yeah. Be the one that you are. God, life knows what it's doing. It's like, I don't need everyone to be the same. Let's have, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And when each one of us ignites that within us, like, holy moly, it's kind of having fun. Okay, the ruler, everyone knows a queen when they meet one, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Someone who's the queen of the party. One word is control. The ruler wants to create a prosperous and successful family, company, or community. Brands that enhance or promote power, help people become and stay organized, or promise safety and stability in a chaotic world are easily identified as ruler archetypes. Okay, we mentioned someone earlier who I think has probably got this one in her archetype. Who do you think is someone who wants control and to be prosperous and successful everywhere she goes?
Oprah.
Not so much. Well, she probably has some of this, but Martha Stewart stands out even more so as a queen to me. Oprah's a queen for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know that she necessarily
primary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, Martha's definitely notch up.
Yeah, she definitely stands in that kind of stature. Like, I would be intimidated in her presence.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Whereas Oprah, I would feel kind of at home with her.
Feel warm and fuzzy with her.
Yeah.
She's
I don't
also
think
lover.
what's that, Kana?
She's also lover, no?
Yeah, I would think Oprah's a lover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oprah actually, according to some of the stuff I found, is an alchemist. Is her primary. She's got other stuff going on for sure, but I don't feel like she has to. She may control a lot of things, but I don't think that she has to control everything. She just, her presence alone, demands attention, but I don't think she makes everyone feel at home with her too, though. So I don't think she's really as strongly a queen in that way. And everything has its shadow side.
That's pretty.
You have your strong side and you have your shadow side. I love this picture myself. I use this on Linda Armstrong's listing page. We used this, but we took her out and put Linda in. Actually, Linda
Photoshopped it or what?
Yeah, photoshopped it. Yeah.
I was going to say, or do you have that outfit that you can pass out? Because I'd like to borrow it.
Love it. It's so awesome. Yeah. Okay. The sage spirit is guided by the discovery of truth. The sage uses intelligence and analysis to understand the world. Look at brands that provide expertise or information and that encourage people to think, and you will see the sage at work. You know who this is? Probably more strongly than other things. We've already mentioned him. Would be Deepak. He might be more, he probably has this in him. I definitely have some of this in me because I studied the truth of consciousness and I like to share it. It's not my primary one, but there's definitely parts of this in me that kind of spills into the alchemist side. So that's the sage. Who else would be a sage? Because there's smarts going on here, intelligence and analysis.
Eckhart Tolle.
Yes. Yep. Dr. Hawkins.
Yeah.
Right? Anyone who's teaching us of higher truths. Eckhart Tolle for sure. What would you say Louise Hay is?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
I'd say she's an alchemist.
Or a visionary.
I'd have to look at those again to she's a mix of some of these for sure. The explorer traveler yearns for the freedom to discover the world and experience a better, more authentic, and more fulfilling life. I think Branson might be this.
I think you're right.
He owns an airline. He's like, I'm going to be an explorer, damn it, and I'm going to own an airline to do it. That is probably his strongest suit. And then other things just come into play. So the traits are often those that help people feel free, are nonconformist. Okay, he's nonconformist, he's pioneering, and he offers sturdy or rugged products. Okay, I think that is truly his archetype. Wouldn't you guys agree? Now that we look at it more closely. What would the car be for an explorer traveler?
It would be like, it'd be an SUV, like a Porsche SUV, or maybe a Hummer or a Jeep.
Yeah, I see like a safari Jeep.
Yeah, safari Jeep.
Right? A rugged Jeep of some sort. Not a Mercedes. All right, you guys. So of all of those, tell me which one do you think is you? Top two. Cheryl?
I don't know. I saw so much of myself in each one, but probably like the magician. Also the, I want to be the one that makes everybody happy. I'm not sure which one that is.
Oh, that was the nurturer.
Yeah, the nurturer. I probably would be that one too.
Okay. Kana, how about you?
I think I'm a mix of outlaw and caregiver.
Ah.
It's a funny mix, but
Yeah. You know, you are absolutely an outlaw for Japanese women and that culture. And you're breaking through, and I think you're gonna shine there, honey buns. Stay with that Japanese audience because Japanese women need you.
Yes.
You're absolutely a pioneer in all that you're doing right now, especially for your generation. It's huge.
yeah.
So an outlaw nurturer, that's a nice combo. I'm gonna throw some goggles on Connor and stick her on a Harley Davidson. Okay, Lynn, what do you think you are?
Probably alchemist and visionary.
Ah,
I mean, I relate to a whole bunch of these, but
okay.
yeah, probably those two would be the top.
Okay, and Deborah?
I think I am a combination of all of them, actually, but magician, alchemist, and jester.
Ah, all right. All right, well, I'm going to share those links so you guys can go and take the tests in a moment. I'm not done with this presentation. And then I want you to go, when you guys figure it out, go to Facebook, and it should be, share it to the group. I think it will let you share your results to the group. And if they don't, just come back to the group and tell us which one the top two, because it's really the top two that matter. And you can ignore the rest. Okay, and I want you to ignore the rest because you tend to want to be everything we all do. Tend to want to be everything to everyone. It doesn't serve you. Be who you are. Number one. Okay. So would you like help with your personal branding efforts? I offered this last week. And I'm creating a personal branding online workshop, and I'm really going to call it a business breakthrough thing. And I'm redoing the whole thing. And I'm not charging $300. It's too much work, and there's too much value I'm giving. It's a significant investment to go through this with me. And I haven't decided on a final price, but it isn't $300. But it is going to be now an 8-week course, because there's so much involved in getting clear about this and really aligning yourself with the energies of who you are and who you want to be and what you're going to deliver. And I'm not going to go through each one of these again, but I'm extending it to 8 weeks because I want to weave in the archetype understanding with it. I also want to weave in understanding the map of consciousness and where power and truth exist to create the life that you want. And I think when you understand where power is on the map of consciousness and understand what that is, and most people don't get it, I'm going to try to kind of dumb it down. Not that you guys are dumb, but I just want to use that, like, you kind of got to dumb down what Dr. Hawkins says, because it's kind of up there. It's of higher consciousness, which is why not everyone gets it. You're not there yet. And I also want to bring in my artist, and I want to encourage visual journaling and vision boarding, because that makes it even more fun if you have a tendency toward this. And I know Deborah does. She's a vision board lover. So I want to kind of help people through that process where we're creating something artistic and creative, if that is appealing to you, in the form of a journal and or a vision board. I personally do both because it's the artist in me. And I'm going to say this again, a year from now, you wish you'd started today. We're not starting today on that course. We're starting the first week of January, probably. And if you're interested, I want you to email me and we'll talk about it. And you're going to say personal branding and business breakthrough in the subject line. And it's not for everybody. You have to invest in this. Cheryl Murphy, you've already invested in this. Bravo. And we'll have a conversation about what that is. And I'll have a final, I'm going to figure out the final price this week of what that price is going to be, but it's not going to be $300. It's going to be significantly more than that, because I'm delivering significantly more to your business that's going to deliver return on that investment, I guarantee. Well, I can't guarantee it, but because it's up to you. It's up to you to get aligned. And if you're interested, you guys can just email me to liz@themindbodyspiritnetwork.com and put personal branding and business breakthrough in the subject line. And I'll be sharing this on YouTube, so people watching it on YouTube or on a blog, this is how you can contact me, and we can get clear on what this is all about and how it's going to transform you from who you are today. And if you're just floundering in your business and you're not clear and you don't have any clients and you got no leads, this could be the solution to that problem. And most business leaders would tell you how vital this is before diving into any business, getting clear on this. All right, that is it for today. I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and I am going to stop the recording.